Yes, everyone, very good evening. Yes. So today we will discuss about human evolution, glimpses, general understanding of, as yesterday how we have the general understanding. In the same way today also we will be having the general understanding. The general understanding is the Homo line with evidences. I'm not telling that the Homo line started with Australopithecines, but we have evidences that man evolved from Australopithecines. Above Australopithecines, like Dryopithecus, we are not 100% sure that the man evolved from Dryopithecus, but there are some evidences which are similar to Homo sapiens. But in Australopithecines, by Tuang baby, we come to a conclusion that yes, Australopithecines is the ancestor of modern man. So everything started with Australopithecines. Australopithecines we have, it is like quick revision. Australopithecines, we have two varieties of Australopithecines. One is called as robustus variety, other is called as gracile variety. The robustus variety are stocky people who believe it to be extinct. And the Australopithecines gracile variety, slender variety is believed to be, again, I am using the word very carefully, believed. Believed to be evolved into, believed means uncertain. The word believe itself is uncertain. Believed to be evolved into Homo erectus. And in Homo erectus, we have Asian variety of Homo erectus, African variety of Homo erectus, and European variety of Homo erectus. European variety of Homo erectus is called as Homo erectus heidelbergensis. And Asian variety of Homo erectus is called as Homo erectus pekinensis, Homo erectus javanicus. Whereas African variety of Homo erectus is called as Homo erectus ergaster. So in this way, the Australopithecines has been evolved into Homo erectus. But in between, two species came. One is called as Rhodesian man, other is called as Homo habilis. But the evidences are not that much powerful, or the evidences are not that much sure that it is a Homo line or not. It is from Homo line or not, whether this Homo habilis or Rhodesian man had evolved into Homo sapiens or not, the evidences are insufficient. But the evidences Australopithecines into Homo erectus were sufficient. Yes, the Australopithecines evolved into Homo erectus and eventually into Homo sapiens. The next in between is Homo neanderthalensis. This Homo neanderthalensis is mainly the Homo erectus heidelbergensis who went to Europe and who settled there had evolved into Neanderthal. The Neanderthal species are of two varieties. One is called as classical variety, other is called as progressive variety. This progressive variety, Neanderthal, is present in the areas of Syria, areas of Jordan, areas of Israel. So the progressive Neanderthal evolved into Homo sapiens, whereas classical Neanderthal had become extinct. The classical Neanderthal is also robust. The head is, the cranial capacity is up to 1650 cc. But the Homo heidelbergensis, progressive Neanderthal, had the evidences similar to modern man and evolved into modern man called as Homo sapiens. Again, in Homo sapiens, we have three varieties. One is called as Grimaldi. What are the three varieties of Homo sapiens? Tell me. One is Grimaldi and other two are?
Chancellade and Rhodesian man.
Chancellade, not Rhodesian man. Chancellade, Grimaldi and
Cro-Magnon.
Cro-Magnon. So in this way it evolved. So just if there is any question, if there is any question in UPSC interview board, you just tell the line how I explained you, just in the same similar format. If you tell them yes, Homo habilis is also there, Rhodesian man is also there, but the evidences are not certain. You have to use the word believed to be. Believed itself is uncertain. Then eventually evolved into Homo sapiens. But here the question comes like this. Okay, fine. Can you tell me how the man is going to be after 1000 years? What would be the future of modern man after 1000 years or 5000 years? Whether Homo sapiens is going to evolve further? Devish Chaturvedi. Anyone? UPSC interview question. What would be the man after 1000 years or 10,000 years?
Sir, we have one of the evidences that the brain size has been decreasing.
because there is a decentralization of information, or we have things like cloud-based mechanisms where information is getting stored. So we don't have to have so much of capacity or knowledge to store information. So there is a chance that brain size might reduce.
Oh, brain size might reduce. So intelligence will come down.
Not intelligence might not come down, sir, but the other areas which require more effort in order to study or store information or process it might reduce.
Okay. Okay. Prithvi B or anyone, any answer? What would be the future of modern man? Whether it is
Sir,
going to 1 minute, whether it is going to further evolve, or what is going to happen?
sir, there is the potential of evolution, especially with the upcoming climate change event, which is going to take place. So usually we have seen how the changes, drastic changes in climate has brought change in the Homo lineage. So we will have to see how technology as well as human adaptation will change in this 10,000 years. Definitely there will be evolution and humans will be able to adapt. Uh, but the external trigger point will be climate change.
Very good, very good. So you want to tell that it would be according to the climate. So eventually the climate will change. Eventually the man will be adapting to the climate. So obviously he need to adapt. So he need to change, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good answer. Any more? We are seeing some evolutionary line like quadrupedal, then knuckle walking, then bipedal. Then again he is bending, sitting in the computer. Whether it is a real evolutionary line. So whether we are going to become again like a quadrupedal, whether we are going to become again like a chimpanzee, etc., or it is what according to the climate, according to the environment, we are going to change, but that depends upon the climate and environment.
Sir,
Yes.
I think when we have moved from quadrupedal to bipedal, our visible senses have evolved much better than other apes. But
Stereoscopic vision.
yes, but
Yes.
I think with technology and too much usage of digital screens, there might be reduction in eye power.
Okay.
Oh, increase in eye power, that our senses might be reduced.
The sensitivity of the senses might reduce.
Yes, of eyes.
Yes. Okay. This all again you have to tell that compulsory. You have to use the word. I believe that. Why? Because
Okay.
uncertain future.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what is primatology? You studied about evolution of man. Your option is anthropology. What is primatology?
So, primatology is the study of primates, their behavior, and their biological and the cultural features.
Okay. What is primate?
Primate is a class of mammalian species
Very good.
with some characteristics.
Mammalian
like
species. Next.
It has some characteristics.
What type
I'm
of
not sure.
characteristics?
Mivot has given some characteristics like clavicle.
Clavicle
Then we have
bones.
clavicle bone. Then we have 3 kinds of teeth at some point of time in their lives.
Very good. Anyone about what is primate? Correct, correct, Sahitya. What you told is 100% correct. Anyone want to add anything? What is primate? It's a class of mammalian species, 100%. It is going to have the characteristics of ape and man like clavicle bone, pendactylism, foramen magnum. Who are lesser apes, or what are lesser apes and what are greater apes? Can any one of you name what are greater apes and what are lesser apes?
So lesser apes are those where the primate trends are seen in a lesser form. Greater apes are those where the primate characteristics are seen in a much more evolved form.
Very good. Example.
So greater apes can be chimpanzee, gorilla, and man also.
Man is not a greater ape.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, sir. Gorilla and chimpanzee.
And
orangutan,
Yes. Lesser apes are,
gibbons,
in this context, there is a controversy in anthropology evolution. Who is Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus? Who is Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus? For this answer, you have to answer like this. See, mainly with Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus, first we got Ramapithecus. The both, when they dated, they showed somewhere around 14 million years ago to 16 million years ago, both. But the early fossil evidence which we got is Ramapithecus. So when we got the Ramapithecus and the Dryopithecus physical features were being same. So people thought that the Ramapithecus and Dryopithecus equally are the ancestors of modern man. But again, the problem came. Only the dentition was available. Post-cranial features, this is all called as post-cranial features, only dentition was been available. So only with dentition, how we can come to a conclusion. Then parallelly, after some days, in Shivalik Hills, we got Shivapithecus. And the Shivapithecus, we got dentition as well as some post-cranial features. So here what happened, the dentition is similar to the Ramapithecus. The dentition was similar to Ramapithecus, but the post-cranial features were being similar to orangutan. So then we came to conclusion by seeing the dentition of Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus. The Shivapithecus dentition was being robust, stocky, whereas the dentition of Ramapithecus is slender, thin. So hence we came to a conclusion that the Ramapithecus is the female variety of orangutan and Shivapithecus is the male variety of orangutan. Hence, the Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus not evolved into modern man, but the Ramapithecus and Shivapithecus has been evolved into modern orangutan. This thing you have to tell me. One more question. Who is this Narmada man?
It is a Homo erectus fossil found in India from Narmada Valley.
Okay. There is a controversy regarding Narmada man. What is that? There is a debate, there is an argument.
the argument is whether it is a Homo erectus or an early Homo sapiens.
Okay.
Regarding origin of man, whether it was in Africa or India, there was a controversy.
Very good. Yes. Yes. So the Narmada man, we came finally to the conclusion. Final conclusion is it's an Indian variety of Homo erectus. But some people believe that it is Homo heidelbergensis variety. Why? Because it's very stocky like European variety. Some people will believe that it is an intermediary between the Homo erectus and Homo sapiens. This Narmada man has been immediately evolved into Homo sapiens. But the final conclusion, the final current affair, or the final status is the Homo erectus Narmada man. Homo erectus is the Narmada man is a Homo erectus variety in India. One more question. Who is the anthropologist who tried to prove that evolution of man also happened in India?
Sankhyan, sir.
Sankhyan is a person who
Arun
excavated the
Sonakia.
fossil.
Arun
Sonakya.
Sonakia.
Arun Sonakia, yes, he is also a person who excavated Ramapithecus. True, what you told is true, somewhat true, but
Sankali.
original answer, H.D. Sankali, one more.
Sankali.
The person is famous for this. Nirmal Kumar Bose, N.K. Bose is the first person who is regarded as the first archaeologist in India, and he is the first person who tried a lot to prove to the world that the evolution of man also happened in India, but he failed. Why? Because he didn't got any evidences. So Nirmal Kumar Bose is the one person. And he also headed Archaeological Society of India as one more we will discuss about. Recently, 2 excavations were been out. One is Sinawali excavations and Kiladi excavations. Any idea, anyone?
Sinawali was a Harappan site, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Ankush.
Kiladi excavation was related to the Sangam age.
True, Sangam age, true. Where and
Tamil
where?
Nadu.
Where are these geographically located? Ayushi.
Sinawali is in Haryana. And
Sinawali is in
Kiladi is in Tamil Nadu. Haryana, sir. Please.
more points.
Haryana.
Sinawali.
Kiladi is in Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Sinawali belongs to the Ganga Yamuna Doab and belonging to Bronze Age, and Kiladi is in Madras, Tamil Nadu, belonging to the Sangam Age.
Kiladi is in Sangam Age. Okay. One object was being found in Sinawali because of which it became very popular. What is that?
The bullock cart like object. No.
Not
Sword, I think. It's a
horse,
sword.
chariot.
Okay.
This is in the mains expected question it was, but I thought it will come. So in Sinawali, we got horse chariot. Then Kiladi excavations, why it is famous? It is much in news.
It pushed back the date of Sangam age.
Okay. What is Sangam? Aveda, Prudvi, Kiladi excavations. It is very important. It's mains question actually.
What is the spelling of Kiladi? Like Khiladi?
No. K-E-E-L-A-D-I.
Khiladi. Okay, sir.
Sir, it's an excavation site near Madurai. And it has, denied the notion that we had previously thought about Sangam age. And now it is considered as the first second urbanization in India after Indus Valley civilization.
Kiladi excavations of Tamil Nadu near Madurai, correct? Vaigai River on the banks of Vaigai River in the Tamil Nadu. Here the Kiladi excavations are there, very near to the Madurai. It is similar to Indus Valley civilization. Urban civilization was being found here. See, high standard of living, brick structures were being found, terracotta ring wells were being found, graffiti marks are found in earthenware. So some symbols were being found. See, Kiladi graffiti, Indus sign. If you see, both are similar. Sangam age. I think you're aware of the Sangam literature which you study art and culture. Vaigai River. Where is this Vaigai River? East flowing river in Tamil Nadu. Sinawali excavations. Archaeological site of Sinawali. The site was found linked to early Vedic age after Indus Valley civilization, that may be linked to Mahabharata or Ramayana. But it's just believed to be. See, this is Sinawali. Uttar Pradesh, not Haryana. Uttar Pradesh, Bagpat district, India. It is 70 kilometers away from New Delhi at the dome of Ganga and Yamuna rivers. Uttar Pradesh. 2 times we found Sinawali excavations recently and earlier. Sinawali excavations 2.0, first and second. Mainly, see, this is the chariot. This is famous for chariot. Because of this only, the Sinawali excavations became very much popular. If you remember this is enough. Got it? These points you remember, it is enough. One more question. Iron is called as democratizing agent in the cultural evolution of mankind. Why so?
So can you repeat the question, sir?
Iron is called as democratizing agent of cultural evolution of man. Democratizing agent. Iron is called as democratizing agent. Why? And what is the meaning of democratizing agent? The term is coined by Gordon Child.
So maybe after discovery of iron, agriculture might have developed and food production might have increased. So there was greater access of food to many people.
More, anyone, Ankush, anyone, more answers. Correct only, more.
So is it because it allows different cultures to flourish at different parts? Even
First point is, it is easily available. How much of ferrous is present in our Earth's crust? Your geography. How much percentage of iron is present beneath our legs? In all the metals which are available in Earth's crust, the 90% is iron. So easily available. So when the iron got excavated, when it is easily available to the public, when it is easily available to the people, people started using the iron. When the people started using iron, and smelting of iron was very easy, and the mastering of iron also happened very quickly, because of which everyone started using iron. When everyone started using iron, then the evolution was happening quickly. Everyone started manufacturing weapons, everyone started manufacturing plows, iron plows. So when iron got established, then everything started working towards iron, and eventually it helped in the evolutionary process everywhere. Because of its easy availability, affordability, it is called as democratizing agent of universal evolution. Got it? Who told Neolithic is a revolution?
God and child.
Why so?
God and child.
Why?
Because of the rapid transformation and cultural evolution it brought. Because
Like-
of the discovery of iron. I mean, not, I'm sorry, sir, not because of the discovery of iron, but because of the agriculture and increasing in production, social, economic, and political aspects of society started developing. Social institutions started coming up. So it brought a drastic change from the rest of the phases like Mesolithic and Paleolithic.
Okay, very good. Can you name me few sites which are famous for having the evidences of all the stages of evolutionary lines, all the stages of cultural evolution?
Bhimbetka in India.
Very good. Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh, and
Belan Valley.
no, only two sites are there in India which are famous for having the cultural evolution. We have Lower Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic. At a single geography, at a single area. Soan Valley, yes. Two places in India. One is Bhimbetka, having the evidence of Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. At the same time, we also have the evidence of Soan Valley, Lower, Middle, and Upper. So these are the only two sites in India which are famous for having the cultural evolution. It's Homo evolution, human evolution. Yes, my question is whether man is from chimpanzee or from gorilla. Any answer?
Sir, from neither, because now we believe that we had a common ancestor from which chimpanzee gorilla diverged and a separate line of man emerged. So we don't know which is the last common ancestor.
Very good. Very good. Yes. What is archaeological anthropology? What is archaeological anthropology? Anyone? Archaeological anthropology बोले तो क्या? And what is Archaeological Survey of India? What are the functions of Archaeological Survey of India? You have to know about it.
Archaeological Survey of India conducts scientific excavations, and it is also responsible for the preservation of heritage sites in India, the ancient sites.
Very good. It's a factual question. If you don't remember, also no problem. Who is the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India? And it comes under which ministry?
Robert Bruce Foote is the first Director General.
Alexander Cunningham.
Yes, Alexander.
Alexander Cunningham.
One more site which is famous archaeologically, Dholavira. Why the Dholavira was in news?
Sir, it had
1 minute. I'm covering all the current affairs. You don't need to cover anything in your interview preparation. What are all the important things are there? I'm covering. If you know, good. Dholavira, why it was in news?
Sir, it had extensive water harvesting structures. So
Very nice. Yes. Where it is located, first you have to tell geographical location.
near Gujarat.
Yes.
Also had a middle town,
Middle town.
upper town, lower town, and there was a middle layers between upper town and lower town
Okay.
that we usually see in the Harappan sites.
Okay. Yes. Next.
UNESCO intangible culture list was added, sir.
UNESCO intangible list or any other list?
World Heritage Site.
World Heritage List. World Heritage Site. On 27th July 2021, Dholavira, the Harappan city, which is located in the Kutch district of Gujarat, has been named as 40th Indian site inscribed in UNESCO's World Heritage List. Is the first Indus Valley civilization site found in India that has been included in its list, World Heritage List. This is about the, then what is this World Heritage Sites? How many are there? What information you have on this World Heritage List? For what UNESCO will be giving World Heritage List status, site status? UNESCO World Heritage Site only for cultural protection, culturally significant, or any for natural protection also?
Sir, also if it represents any unique site of human evolution, then also.
Very good. More. Yes, more. See, there is one term called as must-see list nowadays under Ministry of Culture.
Which site was
See, having historical significance, cultural significance, scientific or any other form of significance. See, any other form of significance. It can be anything. Such site is legally protected by international treaties. Up to now, we have 38 UNESCO's World Heritage Sites in India. Recently, Government of India had added some of the sites which are present in UNESCO as must-see list. They included in must-see list. India has 6th largest number of sites in world out of 38. The 22 cultural sites, including monuments, buildings, and caves, are under protection of Archaeological Survey of India. Therefore, the must-see list features outstanding Indian monuments and archaeological sites. Outstanding Indian monuments and archaeological sites only will be there in must-see. Not natural beauty or not anything. It is only the Indian monuments like Qutub Minar or else archaeological sites like Dholavira. Only those are present in must-see list. This distinction is very important in prelims point of view in UPSC also. Must-see list is only for those things which are monuments as well as archaeological sites. But UNESCO's World Heritage Site, it might be for historical reasons or cultural reasons or scientific reasons or any other reason. In that any other reason, there might be natural scenic beauty zones. But coming to must-see list of Archaeological Survey of India, which comes under Ministry of Culture, is only Indian monuments as well as archaeological sites. That you have to remember. This is the current affair. What is radiocarbon dating method, which is very popular? Dheeraj Reddy.
So radiocarbon dating is a technique to find out the age of fossil remains with usage of carbon-14 to carbon-12 ratio, which the ratio changes as per the half-life of carbon-14.
Very good, very good. Yes. What is fluorine dating method? Okay. There is a famous technique which is called as Levalloisian technique. Can anyone tell me what is this Levalloisian technique in archaeology?
The turtle-shaped cutting of stones, sir. Turtle.
Okay. Anyone? What is this Levalloisian technique and where it is found?
In the Mousterian culture.
Mousterian region of France. Anyone? Levalloisian technique. What is the representative agent? What is the representative tool of Paleolithic age?
Cleaver and hand axe.
Yes. Anyone more? What is the representative tool of Paleolithic?
Chopper chopping.
Hand axes.
Hand axes. First hand axes. No. Hand axes only you have to remember. Chopper chopping tool is present, cleavers is present, but the first is hand axes. How many cultures are there with respect to hand axes? Like, for example, Chilean, Abelian, Acheulean. What is the difference between these three?
Size of the tool.
Size of the tool, yes.
Bifacial or unifacial.
Yes. Means from Chilean to Acheulean, whether advancement happened or it became more rudimentary in shapes.
I think they improved, sir. Size reduced and they became fine.
The size reduced and they became more fine, yes. What is the tool typology present in Mesolithic age?
Microliths.
Mike, what is the meaning of what do you mean by microliths?
Microliths are tiny flakes taken from a stone and multiple pieces of microliths are used to form a tool.
Okay. What is flakes? What are flakes?
Flakes are the chips of stones that we get by crushing one stone with the other. We take the chips that are coming out instead of taking the core of the stone.
It is a representative agent of which stage of evolution?
So it was found in Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic.
Middle Paleolithic or Upper Paleolithic?
Upper Paleolithic.
Flakes, flake tools.
So both Middle and Upper Paleolithic has flake tools.
I will tell you. See, correct only, but I will tell you with my experience as a faculty after reading a lot of books. Lower Paleolithic, hand axes, chopping tools, cleavers. Middle Paleolithic, flake tools. Upper Paleolithic, non-lithic tools. This is the main representative tools. Means if anyone asks you in a simple language, tell me in simple what is the major difference between lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic. The direct answer is, sir, hand axes is a very famous tool in lower Paleolithic. With that, we have chopping tools and cleavers. Whereas middle Paleolithic is dominated by flake tools, whereas upper Paleolithic is dominated by non-lithic tools, ivory, wood. Why? Because after Paleolithic, we have Mesolithic. Mesolithic is famous for microliths. And after Mesolithic, we have Neolithic, which is famous for farming, plantation. So these are some points which are fixed. Flake tools, middle Paleolithic flake tools. Middle Paleolithic man. Who is the man in middle Paleolithic?
Neanderthal man.
Neanderthal man. Who is the man present in Homo erectus? Sorry, man present in lower Paleolithic.
Homo erectus.
Erectus.
Yes. Why Tuang baby is that much popular? Tuang baby is popular, isn't it?
Sir, it is the fully formed skeleton of Australopithecines found. Tuang baby. That's what I could recollect. If I'm sorry.
Ethiopithecus model.
Fully formed skull.
It was a fully formed skull.
Skull.
If not a skull, fully formed body was found. Tuang's baby. It was fully preserved of Australopithecine.
Very good. Australopithecine, Juvan fossil, Africanus. Africanus variety, right?
Yes, sir.
Location where? Locations are important, no? Kenya or Tanzania or South Africa?
Tanzania.
Tanzania. Any more information about Tuang baby? Who excavated it? Who discovered it? Why I am focusing on this? Because Tuang baby, you have to remember, that is the man, earlier man, the first man. We all are the children of Tuang baby. 100% evidence of a modern man. But the only problem is it's given that person. Raymond Dart, yes. Who is Jane Goodall?
Primatologist.
Why she was famous? Why she is famous?
For her work in Tanzania on chimpanzees.
On chimpanzees, yes. What is a unique thing she found in chimpanzees?
She found out the existence of tool culture
In
chimpanzees.
Very good, correct. If we have this clarity, no, any questions if they ask, you will be very confident. That's it.
Sir, if they ask things like ancestor of modern man, so we can say Tuang baby, right?
Ancestor of modern man, Tuang baby. There is there is one story is there. I think you are aware or not. There is one person called as Charles Dawson. Are you aware of this story?
No, sir.
See, there is yes, just for information sake, it might be useful in your ethics also next year.
Sir, I think he framed the fossils of 2 and 3.
Yes. So Charles Dawson is one of the child of Lords of UK. He was obsessed to show to the world that the first man evolved in UK. So what he did, he assembled the limbs of chimpanzee, the cranium of the modern man, and the clavicle of the gorilla. He mixed all these things. Apes, he assembled all the body parts and showed to the world that this is the ancestor of modern man, and people also believed it in 1911. Then by the time 1940, the dating techniques came out. The dating techniques of the fossil are totally different. The skull was showing of different shape. The dentition was showing of different shape. The clavicle bones were been showing of different time, different shape. Then we understood that a scientist or a scientific community, how they can mislead the evolutionary line. For 3 decades, no excavations happened. So Tuang baby, which was been excavated in 1900, again it came into picture, and we came to a conclusion that the Charles Dawson's fossil is not the ancestor of modern man, but the Tuang baby, which is excavated by Raymond Dart, is the ancestor of modern man. In that way, one particular archaeologist or scientist, how he misled the total scientific community for 3 decades is the best example to prove to the world or to explain to the world that how a scientist can mislead the community. This is a story of Charles Dawson, and he kept the name for the fossil as Eonthropus. What is Arugnesian culture?
European Upper Paleolithic culture, sir. I think.
Arugnesian culture. Once go through this. Arugnesian culture kya hai? Magdalenian culture kya hai? Mainly one difference will be there in Arugnesian culture, Magdalenian culture, blade and burin culture, needle culture. Needles will be there. Some of this you have to remember. Recently, there is much news about the DNA of Neanderthal. What is that all about?
So you said that there was mixing of human Homo sapiens and Neanderthal DNA somewhere before.
Yes. Prudvik?
Sir, so there was mixing of both the, as in Homo sapiens and Neanderthals somewhere interbred, and that Europeans may at least some percent of their DNA is from that we inherited from Neanderthals is something that I.
There is a debate that Neanderthal did not evolve into Homo sapiens, but there is a conflict between Neanderthal and Homo sapiens. In that conflict, the Neanderthal could not sustain, hence the Homo sapiens evolved. Is this a true theory?
Sir, it is contested, sir. The latest evidences show that there was also interbreeding, because the European population had contribution from the Neanderthal DNA in respect to their immunity systems. I can remember that.
Anyone answer for this? Whether the Neanderthal and the modern man both were been staying together, or else the Neanderthal evolved into Homo sapiens?
Sir, can I attempt to answer?
Please.
So, sir, there are various theories going on, and I am trying to include most of the theories and tell. So, there must have been a time where Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, modern humans, lived side by side, because there are 2% traces of Neanderthal DNA in modern humans, as per the recent studies. So, there must have been some interbreeding that happened at some point of time. But at the same time, they have.
And sir, not only Neanderthal, the Homo sapiens had also mated with another Homo ancestor like Denisova.
Denisovans, okay.
So the recent Nesher Ramla excavations, they point out to our ancestor that is both ancestor to Homo sapiens as well as the Neanderthal.
Repeat
The
again.
Nesher-
Keep your mouthpiece away.
The Nesher Ramla excavations, the recent Nesher Ramla excavation
Okay.
in Israel. It is speculated that the fossil is an ancestor of both Neanderthal as well as Homo sapiens. There might be a common ancestor to both.
Okay. I will tell you, see what happened. The final conclusion is the Neanderthal is of two varieties. One is progressive Neanderthal and other is classical Neanderthal. So the theory tells that the classical Neanderthal has evolved into Homo sapiens. Parallelly, the progressive Neanderthal was also present. So this Homo sapiens who evolved from classical Neanderthal was in conflict with the progressive Neanderthal for the space, for the food. So when there is a conflict with this progressive Homo sapiens with the progressive Neanderthal, so Homo sapiens is obviously more advanced. So in this conflict, the progressive Neanderthal became extinct. Hence, this Homo sapiens evolved. This is the final theory which is being given in that theory which you told, Sahitya.
I'm sorry, sir. My network went away, so I could not complete, and I think I left halfway.
Yes, please tell me. Please tell me.
No, sir. Now the discussion is over. No, in the topic, it's the same.
No,
I was able to
the conclusion is the classical Neanderthal has evolved into Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens was in conflict with the progressive Neanderthal. Hence, in this process, for the space, for the food, the progressive Neanderthal could not sustain, and the Homo sapiens evolved further.
Okay, sir. Okay, understood. Even I was lacking clarity. Okay, sir.
Sir, then who are these Denisovans, sir?
Denisovans is contested. We don't have any conclusions. Scientifically also no conclusions. Why? Because only few evidences are present. You know, in archaeology, in archaeological excavations, when we come to a conclusion, when we have abundant evidences. In Denisovans also, the evidences are not that much. Few 13 to 14 fossils were being only found. So there is no conclusion for that. It is on.
So as of now, the conclusion, like any insights regarding Denisovan, at what time they existed?
The Denisovans were being the contemporaries of Neanderthals.
Okay.
Finally, how archaeology is helpful in administration?
And preservation of culture and upholding of cultural heritage, sir. Keeping us in touch with our cultural roots.
Okay. But it only studies about materials, no? Archaeology studies about materials or non-materials?
I think both, sir. Like we have come to a stage where we are trying to understand the thought process of past cultures. So through the materials, we are trying to understand their thought process.
Okay, good. How archaeology is helpful in administration?
Sir, we have this new branch called as ethnoarchaeology. So, sir, from there we can understand about the non-material things. So, sir, that will help us in understanding about the past religion and other non-material things. So, we can understand the people better and their culture better.
What is ethnoarchaeology?
Sir, we study, sir, from the material evidences, we try to deduce and understand the non-material things.
True, correct, yes. More exact
Survivals and parallels. So survivals and parallels are also important when it comes to archaeology. So those sort of things like this, so we can understand what sort of objects like goers and all that cultures used earlier, and that they are surviving to this day. We can understand what the sort of material objects that these people use, and maybe that can somehow help us to better understand the culture, and maybe in administration it will help to better govern these people.
True. So you used the word called as culture parallels. What is culture parallels?
Survivals and parallels. So survivals basically parallels basically mean that certain objects that were used in earlier cultures, they are continuing till today. I think that is survival. I have a little clarity less with survivals and parallels.
That is not the case. What do you know that you will tell? Huh?
Okay, sir. So certain things that were present in earlier cultures, they are surviving till this day. So that is cultural survival. And culture parallels. There is some sort of a relation between what happened in this culture and in the culture that is present earlier and the culture that is seen today.
I can listen only culture parallels.
Sorry, sir. Okay,
what is culture parallels?
Sir, can I try? Sir, in culture survival basically means that
culture parallels.
Okay, sir. So culture parallel means in different cultures, early culture, we see that there is some kind of similarity. But sir, those cultures may be geographically isolated and without any kind of diffusion, but still we see some kind of similar cultural elements.
Is it because of psychic unity of mankind?
Sir, because of psychic unity of mankind.
So that means what the classical evolution is told is correct?
Environmental influences also, sir.
So classical evolutionists, they told psychic unity of mankind, that is true?
No, sir, it's a debunked theory. The functionalists and
Neo-evolutionists disproved it.
Yes, yes, please.
the functionalists and all the other thinkers have debunked
Roja, there is
the
problem with your
psychic
internet.
unity of mankind as a theory. I think I'm not being clear.
Yes.
Sir, I was telling psychic unity of mankind is a debunked theory by later anthropologists like functionalists, neo-evolutionists, everyone debunked it. Cultural parallels can be more due to the environmental influence,
Yes.
where they had to survive using similar modes of methods.
No, similar adaptations.
Yes, sir.
Hence, similar adaptations, yes, Ayushi, आपने क्या बोला बिल्कुल correct है, but it is not because of psychic unity of mankind, it's because of similar environment, there is similar adaptation, that similar adaptations is called as similar cultures. Any doubts, anyone more?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, Ankush.
The difference, could you please explain the difference between Homo sapien and Homo sapiens sapiens?
No, modern man, see, Homo sapiens are the early mans. Technically Homo sapiens only, but for modern man, in some books we use the word called as Homo sapiens sapiens. It is Homo sapiens only, modern man. Yes, I know in some books it is mentioned as Homo sapiens sapiens. It is modern man itself. Nothing, no confusion in that.
Okay.
But your question is genuine. Some books mentioned Homo sapiens sapiens. It is modern man only. What are megaliths?
So megaliths are features of Iron Age seen in South India and Neolithic in the other parts of the world. They manifest in a form of dolmen and cave circles.
Again, the question is, which age you told megaliths?
I think Iron Age in South India, sir, but Neolithic in rest of the world.
Iron Age or Chalcolithic age?
I think I remember, as far as I remember, it is Iron Age, sir, in South India.
Anyone? Which age it is? Megaliths.
Sir, it's Deccan Chalcolith. H.D. Sangalia has classified it as Chalcolithic.
Chalcolithic only. Dheeraj, na?
Yes, sir.
Chalcolithic only it is. Chalcolithic. Yes, tell me this.
Remember, they found iron implements there near there.
Chalcolithic. Okay. What is the significance of megaliths? Why? What is this megalith?
They are huge slabs of rocks. They signify burial areas.
Yes. What is their belief system?
They
might have believed in ancestor worship or afterlife, sir.
Yes. So they also believe that the soul will not come out of it. So the soul will be restricted to the burial grounds only. Fire was being found for the first time where?
Zhoukoudian cave
Zhoukoudian China. Yes. What is broad spectrum survival mechanism?
Depending on multiple sources of food, sir.
Like
grains, seeds, and
when
meat.
this term came into existence?
I think in the Mesolithic, sir, after the deglaciation.
Very good. Why?
Because after deglaciation, forests and plant life had blossomed, and multiple sources of food had opened up.
Small games came into existence. Earlier, it was only big game. So multiple sources of food resources man got. So earlier, man was being dependent only on limited resources. Now he had broad spectrum resources. So his survival is more guaranteed when compared to earlier days.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any doubts, please, now? This is about human evolution and archaeology. What is the role of tribals in Indian civilization? In the evolution of Indian civilization?
Sir, contributions to music, instruments, caste system, that Gotra system, and iron technology, metallurgy, and language, sir. Words like Bala, Bana.
Yes. More role of tribals in Indian civilization.
They were a part of our epics also, sir.
Part of our
Epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata also mentioned.
epics. Yes, true. Yes, there are evidences. Lot of stories are there. So this is a session on human evolution and archaeology. What is tomorrow's topic, please?
So could we take socio-culture, marriage, changing this family norms?
Tomorrow we are going to discuss culture, society, marriage, family, kinship. In this, I will be emphasizing more on live-in relationship, modern LGBTs, laws also, some section 497. These all things I will be discussing with few judgments related to anthropology. Anything more you want me to discuss? I will discuss.
Sir, just
There was a question from previous year transcripts. They were repeatedly asking, like, what is the future of evolution, human evolution?
I asked no.
Sir, I joined late. I was not present.
It is mainly with respect to how environmental change. Someone answered very properly, correctly. It depends upon the climate. We cannot tell anything. It's a future. It's believed to be. So it totally depends upon the climate. It totally depends upon the environment. So the man will be evolving according to the changing circumstances of climate and environment because he need to adapt for his survival. So it depends upon the climate.
Okay, sir.
Sir, previous year they're asking one question that what is the origin of Indian man? So, what will be the exact answer to this?
See, origin of Indian man, three things we can tell. Number one is we don't have evidences, fossil evidences, because of acidic nature of soil when compared to Africa. Number one. Number two, we have evidence only with respect to Narmada man. Number three, we have evidence with respect to god apes of Shiva lenses. But the god apes of Shiva lenses evidences which we got are the ancestors of modern orangutan. So it is also neglected. Third is Narmada man. So the Narmada man is an evidence of Homo erectus variety. But without Australopithecines, how Homo erectus man came into India? It might be when he was migrating from Africa to Asia. For a time being, he settled in India. So that man might be Homo erectus. So with evidences, we cannot tell that the man evolved in India. But for a time being, a transition man, Homo erectus narmadensis was been present in India. But human evolution did not happen in India. In the world, the human evolution started in Africa, but stabilized in Europe.
Sir, if at all they ask the question, who are early Indians?
Dravidians.
No, sir. Who are early Indians?
In India.
Yes, sir. I mean, there were a series of questions probably inspired by the book Early Indians by Tony Joseph. In a transcript, they were continuously asking about who are early Indians. What do you think about Aryan invasion theory?
Yeah. Aryan invasion theory, we will be doing it. In paper 2, we will be doing Aryan invasion theory. That I had a very good content.
Yes,
early
sir.
Indians, so what do you know about early Indians?
I mean, I read that book, sir, Early Indians by Tony Joseph. So he was talking of how out of Africa humans have come, they have settled in the Andaman Islands. Then he was comparing the Indian population to a pizza base, where toppings are the various migrations that have occurred from the steppes, from East Asia.
So he want to tell that India is a boiling pot, melting pot.
Not exactly a melting pot, but what he was saying is that the base, the pizza base, that is the Indian population, it has not changed much, and it is different from other countries or other countries. Diversity has always been a part of our civilization, is what he was saying.
Okay, so but here the question is about evolution of man. Here, early Indian means we are talking from the context of evolution, right?
Yes, sir.
Or we are talking from the context of diversity. It's a social context or biological context. Biological context means evolution. Social context means diversity.
It's more from the diversity, sir.
So that is different topic. Early
Yes.
Indians, what you studied, it's in social context, not in biological context, isn't it?
Yes, sir, largely, but he uses mitochondrial DNA analysis and all to prove that from where different groups of people have come and settled in India.
Okay. Good.
If I'm allowed to share a link, I can share a YouTube video of this in the group, sir.
Sure, please do it. No.
Yes,
I will
sir.
also.
Yes, I will share it, sir.
Yes, आयुषी आप कुछ बोल रहे एविडा आप भी कुछ you were been telling something?
No, sir. I just had this one doubt.
Evida.
So what can be the proper answer for how archaeology is helpful in administration?
Yes, no one, and this is a proper question. Tell me how archaeology is helpful in administration. Number one, knowing about the behaviors of the community. See, if any tool I get, so when I analyze the tool, I will also understand the behavior of the people. So with respect to the behavior of the people, we can make the policies. We can understand the mindset. We can understand the behaviors. We can understand the cognitive setup of the people. So mainly with the tribals, mainly with the primitive people, this archaeological evidences will help us. Number one. Number two, it helps us to understand the people. It helps us to know about the people. Number three, it showcases the culture. It showcases the people, society to the world through the administration point of view. But only one thing is we can understand the behaviors of the people. That is the only conclusion. Anything anyone want to add to it? How archaeology is helpful in administration? Yesterday we discussed some point, no? How this is helpful in administration. What is that? Okay, how archaeology is helpful in administration. I told that by knowing the behaviors of the people properly, we can make policies for them.
Sir, can we also say issues like ethnic conflicts can be better dealt with the help of archaeology?
Very good. Yes. If any ethnic conflicts are there, we can lessen the conflicts. We can show them the evidences that you people are not different. You people are the same who came from the same ancestor by archaeological evidences. Correct. Ethnic conflicts can be lessened. True. Very good. Two things in knowing the behaviors of the people and understanding the behaviors of the people. Number two, lessening the conflicts between the ethnic communities. So this is all for today. Tomorrow, culture, ethnocentrism, culture relativism, marriage, different examples, judgments point of view, recent judgment on Succession Act, Hindu Succession Act, property sharing to women. These all things we will be discussing. As I am also a registered advocate with High Court of Hyderabad, I know these all judgments. I will be explaining you this. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.